You see what just happened here?
What?
She treated me to the Arabian milk of Java.
And you misinterpret this how?
She's sticking it to me that she makes more money than me.
I'm sure she was just being nice, buying you the coffee.
No, not nice. She's sticking it to me.
You're crazy.
Sticking it to me, Jerry.
George.
Sticking it!
Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I too am well.
Looking forward to your visit here in a couple of days. We're going to check out the Brooklyn Cyclones Seinfeld night.
Yeah, apparently there's this baseball game going on in Coney Island.
Yeah, we've never mentioned it. I'm sure our listeners don't know about it.
They're not sick of hearing about it at all.
I have heard from people at Trivia. Also, we've gotten emails that a few of our listeners will be attending.
And the people are talking.
You know, if you see us, please come up, say hello. We'll post a photo on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook to let you know what we're wearing that day. Vinny, do you have your outfit picked out yet? Are you?
I got the bottoms picked out. I don't have the top picked out just yet.
Oh, interesting. I'll have my Mets hat on at least. So,
and I will definitely have something to have shade. So I won't have any lines in my face.
Of course.
When I went to the beach last week with my lady and her family, and I had this bucket hat. I wore it the entire time.
A bucket hat?
Yeah, a bucket hat.
Shouldn't you be wearing the bucket?
What the your problem?
What's up? Wait, hang on. Are you saying that to me, or is that a curb quote?
No, a muffin top store?
Oh, that's a deep pull, man.
Thank you.
That's a blooper, a Seinfeld blooper where someone says that. Yeah, okay.
It's Deck McKenzie and Julia going back and forth.
I got really scared there. I'm like, did I insult Johnny Carson?
I'm offended.
All right, wait, hang on. Let's get back to the game real quick. So it's this Saturday, August 5th, and the game starts at 6. The gates open at 4:30, but if you are one of the first 2,000 attendants, you get a Soup Nazi bobblehead, which is pretty cool. So I think we're planning to get in line around 4, probably, maybe 3:30. I don't know. Yeah. Just so we can get our bobblehead. But, you know, Vinny, we just got an email recently from the Brooklyn Cyclones. Not only are they giving out the Soup Nazi bobblehead, you can meet Phil Morris. You're getting the Jackie Childs bobblehead, the T-shirt. But Larry Thomas, the Soup Nazi, will also be there.
Yev Kassem himself, in the flesh.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him what his favorite soup is. I'm sure he's never heard that before.
You missed out on meeting him, I think, during the first Seinfeld night.
That's correct. I do recall you meeting him, getting his autograph, and you were kind enough to have him sign a Lobster Bisque Original Soup Man box for me, which is currently on my refrigerator. Thank you.
But, yeah, man, really looking forward to the big day with you. And I'm sure next week you're actually going to be staying with me for a couple of days since my wife is away. Your girlfriend wants you out of the house.
Yep, so can't stand me anymore.
You're staying with me for a couple of days. So I'm sure we'll get a chance to maybe record next week's episode in person.
Ooh, that'd be exciting.
Yeah, I think we either did or attempted that once before.
I remember.
Did we release that or...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I remember it was tough, though, because you didn't want to look me in the eye.
Yeah, it's weird, because right now I'm just talking to a microphone, but, you're digitally away from me. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, right on.
We should also point out that for the first time in your trivia history, you hosting the Seinfeld Trivias, I'm going to be in attendance at one of them.
That is huge news, man. We need, alarms going off now.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I'm going to be hosting Seinfeld Trivia in New York City at a place called Abbey Tavern. That's on 3rd Ave, and I don't have the cross street, but it's on 3rd Ave, 20-something. I'll include a link in our show notes. Tuesday, August 8th at 8 o'clock. So I'll be hosting. Vinny, you will be there. We haven't figured out the details yet. Maybe you can ask a couple of rounds of questions, or you can help me score. I don't know.
Do I have to talk? Because I don't want to talk.
It's up to you. But the microphone there isn't the best, which kind of sucks. So you might get out of it. But
yeah,
it would be awesome. If any Seincast listeners in the area, I'm I mean, whether or not you're going to the baseball game, please come out for trivia. You know, you can meet Vinny in the flesh. And
it's not that great. But still come.
Oh my God, dude. I can't tell you how many people at trivia every time they say, oh, listen to Seincast, love the show. Does Vinny ever come out?
Where's Vinny?
Yes.
Stroking that ego. Thank you.
No, I'm serious, dude.
My mother's very proud.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there's no backing out of it, right? You've committed to...
Oh, I'm in. It's all. I'll be there.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'll include a link in our show notes. It would probably be a good idea to RSVP if you haven't already. You can do so just by clicking the link in the show notes and take it from there. Well, Vinny, how about we move on to an old segment here that we haven't opened up in a while, Newman's Mailbag. A lot of listeners wrote in about some things that we missed in the past two episodes, the Andrea Doria and the Little Jerry. First up, let's talk about the Andrea Doria here. Now, Vinny, I asked you before we were recording if you've ever seen the Godfather films, and you haven't, right?
No, I've seen them just, a couple times. Okay. I did like them. I just don't, I guess, adore them as much as the average person probably.
Right. Well, I'm ashamed that I missed this because The Godfather Part 2 was a movie I just watched all the time in high school and college. I loved that movie, still do, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And there was a significant line in the Andrea Doria that we never connected to The Godfather Part 2. So I want to play a clip from the episode, and then we'll connect it to The Godfather.
But why? That's why you're helping Newman with the mail?
Elaine, Newman is my sworn enemy. And he lives down the hall from my home. My home, Elaine! Where I sleep, where I come to play with my toys.
Well, anyway.
So we all know that line of dialogue really well, and Jerry kind of has that funny delivery. And of course, this is a reference to The Godfather Part 2 after there's an assassination attempt on Michael Corleone at his house. Someone fires through the window. And later on, he has this bit of dialogue.
You heard what happened in my home?
Mike, I almost died myself. It was all so relieved.
In my home! In my bedroom where my wife sleeps! Where my children come and play with their toys. In my home.
Don't ever go against the family, Jerry.
You do the worst Godfather impression.
Godfather?
Yeah. Just ashamed that we didn't bring that up because, I don't know, I feel like that's a pretty obvious reference.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as popular, I feel, as the, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Like,
there's one, yeah.
But still, I think significant enough to address here.
And if I can add, there's a Godfather reference in Curb.
Is there?
Where Larry sticks food in his mouth, and he's like, how many can I fit in my mouth? And then once he gets them all in his mouth, he goes, look what they did to my Pulsantino.
They massacred my boy. All right. Well,
there's another one. Damn.
I don't know if I brought this up then, but even Stan, the father of the baby, he looks like Francis Ford Coppola.
He does.
Minus the beard, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Another huge thing we missed was last week in the Little Jerry. If you remember, Vinny, George says that a man who shaves his head is like using a wheelchair for the fun of it. Mm-hmm. And we connected that to two things. George's rascal scooter in the butter shave.
There's one.
And Kramer zipping around in a motorized wheelchair in the handicap spot.
That's two.
But in the scofflaw, we failed to mention this.
I just saw your old boyfriend on TV.
Jake Jarmel?
Yeah. I really like those glasses he was wearing. Where'd he get those?
Why? You don't wear glasses.
I know, but I need a new look. I'm stagnating.
I have to say, as a glasses wearer, I take exception to that. That's like me buying a wheelchair to cruise around in.
Yeah, I've considered that.
Well, I guess we're a little out of our league here.
I feel like that was rattling around in my head, but you covered it with the rascal and the handicap spot reference.
Are you pointing your finger at me?
No, it's like
get your finger out of my face.
It's tough with the show sometimes because you have all of these thoughts, right? And you think you're covering everything. You're like, was that it? Yeah, that was it. And you just move on. And as soon as we released the episode, we just got a ton of emails from people about that scene from the Scofflaw. So,
but again, the beauty of all the listeners being so passionate as we are, they're eager to send in, that we missed this. And this, I'm like, damn, that we should have caught it, but we didn't. So I'm glad, they picked up the slack for us. So thank you.
Thanks to all the listeners who wrote in about the Godfather moment and the Scofflaw moment. Really appreciate it. 2 more emails here regarding the Little Jerry. This email comes in from listener Travers Wendell. He writes, I was a bit surprised that one bit of minutia slipped past you guys that has always bugged me. At the end of the episode, The Little Jerry, Elaine mentions it's 3:30 in the morning and that she's at a cockfight. What am I clinging to, right? Mm-hmm. And then we hop over to George's apartment, and there's Kurt knocking on his door looking for George. Kurt just wanted to stop by to thank George at 3 in the morning. Also, is it commonplace for cops to stop by and question someone about a fugitive in the middle of the night, too? Does that seem odd to you? I never picked up on this.
Now that you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. I never really paid much attention to it, to be honest with you. That 3:30 line is the line that sticks out from that scene.
Right.
But I just assume, Kurt stopped by to say George changed his life. But I never really put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. So I guess what's the weirdest thing that Kurt would stop by or that the cops would stop by? I guess they're both kind of weird.
I could see Kurt stopping by because, he's so happy that he's getting his life back on track. He wanted to tell George right away.
I don't know. Why not just wait until the morning? Maybe he knew about the cockfight, so he's thinking like, oh, he's going to be up anyways. But
there it is. That's good.
What about the cops, though?
Well,
wanted to catch him off guard or something.
Exactly. That's where he's probably sleeping or playing with his toys.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way I can make sense of the 3:30 line. But God, if they just got rid of that Elaine line or changed it to it's 11:30 at night, I'd buy it.
My favorite part of that exchange is it's 3:30 in the morning. Like she's so not desperate, but what is she clinging to? It's the morning and she's at a cock. I like that line. Keep it in there.
And they would know it's 3:30 in the morning because the rooster is about to crow or something. I don't know.
Nice. Friends had a rooster, too, in their episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the scene about?
A chicken and a duck. Joey and Chandler had a chicken and a duck as pets.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But they would, crow in the morning, and it upset Rachel.
Funny. Didn't Ross have a monkey or something?
Ross had a monkey, too.
Huh. It's weird. A lot of animals on that show. Not much of an answer for listener Travers, but
sorry.
I'm going with Kurt knew about the cockfight and the cops wanted to catch them off guard. All right, let's move on to a bit of sad news here. I did get a response from the farm sanctuary in upstate New York. This is where the real life Little Jerry, the chicken, remember the whole Mets thing?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, so the Mets bought a chicken, named it Little Jerry Seinfeld, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they gave it to this animal sanctuary in New York. And I reached out to the farm sanctuary when we recorded last week's episode to see if Little Jerry was still with them, and I heard back from their development coordinator, and she wrote, "Sadly, Little Jerry is no longer with us. She passed away from heart failure in 2015, just a few years ago. She lived with us for years, which is wonderful for a broiler since they are bred to reach slaughter weight at 32 to 42 days. So apparently Little Jerry really had a wonderful life.
Yeah, it sounds like it was nice and full.
Right. I didn't realize that those chickens were only supposed to live to be, a month or two.
Boy, Matt, way to kill the vibe of the podcast with the depressing news here.
I thought that was a lovely story. Yes, Little Jerry died. We all die eventually. But she got to enjoy her life in the fields, What is the line? Prancing and...
Well, more like strutting and pecking and bobbing and weaving. But, okay, all right, that's a full life she led, so...
All right, Vinny, let's move on to this week's episode. What do we got?
We are discussing the 12th episode of Season 8, The Money, written by Peter Melman, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired January 16th, 1997.
Right on. I mentioned this last week during the Little Jerry that there was like a production order between this episode and the comeback. So the comeback, which we'll discuss next week, is number 812, and this is episode 813. The only reason we're discussing it early is because it aired before the comeback, for reasons unknown, but I think it connects with the Little Jerry better because there's, the discussion with Jerry's parents about money, and there's the bounced check mentioned this week.
Yep. The episode piggybacks off of the Little Jerry with those references, so it actually works out that this is the next episode to air. Hearing episodes being aired out of order makes me think like we're in season 2 or 3 now. Remember that? Yeah,
early on, we had like a weird thing going on with like... And we discussed these episodes in production order, not air date order. So, or what was it? Like, we watched the DVDs. So, do you remember that?
We're going by the air date order, not the production order. So if you're following along, stick with the DVDs. Vinny, what's next?
Let's talk about a little bit of trivia this week. We have the last appearance of Sandy Barron as Jack Klompus. Love that we're going to see him, one last time here on the show. Something sort of scary happened during the production with Sandy. He was pretty ill at the time, and he didn't show up for rehearsal around like mid-December of 1996. And the crew was concerned. They couldn't get a hold of him, and they sent a PA named JT to Sandy's place where he was staying to find out what's going on. And JT arrived. Sandy wasn't there. As JT was driving back to the studio, taking the same route, he found Sandy's car on the side of the road. Apparently, Sandy had fallen unconscious, and reports eventually came back that he was in a coma.
Wow, I never knew that. That is so scary, too, let alone not just going into a coma, but falling into a coma while driving. Like, he could have gotten in a serious accident, potentially getting killed.
Yeah, I don't really... Like, how do comas work exactly? Do you, like, immediately fall into it? Can you wake up from a coma?
Get me a toothbrush.
No laughing matter here, though, Vinny. Sorry. The writers basically had to, rewrite some of the script because they didn't know how Sandy, would recover, if he would recover. So they decided to take a break, basically, from like mid-December to early January. And during that time, not only did Sandy wake up from his coma, but he was determined to return as Jack Klompus on Seinfeld. So incredible. And Andy Ackerman even said, when Sandy showed up on set, he looked like a new man. Like he was ready to go, ready to film, great energy. So who knows what that was all about, but still very scary for the actor to, have that health scare.
So that health scare would not have affected the production. It affected production, but not airing in any way, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So you would think it would be the other way, like...
Right. Like the comeback. Let's do the comeback and let Sandy recuperate.
Hey, here's a theory. Maybe this episode was always meant to air first, and they switched the production numbers because of the health scare. Does that make sense? I just thought production numbers happened earlier on. Like you kind of established which episodes got which numbers, and then you can move the air date around. But, I never would have guessed watching this episode. Like there's nothing about the actor that seems out of place or he seems different. If anything, he looks to be in much better shape than his previous episodes. In the Pen, he was, I feel like, a little overweight.
Yep.
In the Cadillac, he seemed really thin. Like he had lost a lot of weight. He just seems like a really he looks like a healthy looking guy in this episode.
But yeah, really glad that he was able to fulfill his duties as Jack Klompus. Who would you suggest they get to take on that role? I wouldn't recast it because you can't replace a Sandy Barron. But what other member of Del Boca Vista would you want to fill in that role of buying Helen and Morty's Cadillac?
Yeah, it doesn't really work without Jack.
I really like, I forget his name, the actor, but the really old guy who has the stogie in his mouth saying, "It's his material." That gruff guy.
They should lock him up. Well, so you actually brought up a good point, something I wanted to address earlier. I'll do it here. Del Boca Vista, right? That's where Jerry is, he's flying down to try to get the car from Jack. Last time we saw Jack, he wasn't living in Del Boca. He was living in Pines of Mar Gables.
Oh, that's right.
So isn't that kind of weird? We left Jack in the Cadillac when he became the new president. Morty's out. Mm-hmm. But in this episode, he seems to have relocated to Del Boca.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless like Mar Gables and Del Boca are just like the names of the communities and like they're all in the same town.
Right. They're under this umbrella of this really uber community, and then each little section there's Mar Gables and then there's Del Boca Vista. That could be it too.
And maybe like all Seinfelds are banned from Mar Gables, so like Jerry couldn't enter.
There it is.
To meet Jack? I don't know.
I like that. Let's go with that.
Okay, we'll go with that. Right on. And here's one last interesting bit of trivia, Vinny, for this week. This episode, The Money, was the most watched episode of the season.
Really?
And we don't really compare numbers here on Seincast all that much, but there were over 37 million viewers the night this aired.
Damn. I wouldn't have picked this episode to be the most watched out of all the episodes of season 8.
Well, I think since Seinfeld has ended, it's definitely, I feel like, one of the least watched episodes of season 8. But yeah, just worked out that way, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Anything else here before we get started?
No.
Okay. All right, let's cut over to Kramer's apartment, the first scene of the episode. You got Kramer and his girlfriend Emily in bed, post-coitus, I guess. Kramer's thoughts on the matter?
Well, that was all right. Huh?
And as Kramer says goodnight to his girlfriend, he rolls over, on his side, and there's Emily spooning him. And, we have this nice shot of the clock. Over the next few hours, Kramer keeps getting woken up by her arm, like smacking him in the head. Or, I think around 5 o'clock, he tries to shift around and he falls out of the bed onto the floor.
Mm-hmm. And this is considered a cold open, and it's one of the few that we get with just Kramer. He's the star.
And some story. It's setting up his storyline.
Mm-hmm. Emily, we're going to find out, is the Jimmy-legged girlfriend. But what extremity would you say is the one that knocks Kramer out of bed in this instance?
That's a good point. Like, she keeps smacking him with her arm. One would think.
So she does have a little bit of Jimmy arm in her too. So Frank's going to make a comment later, and Kramer's like, "Oh, you can get that in your arms," but he's living it right now.
Yeah.
And then there's a little subtle thing that Michael does where under his breath, he's like, "I don't believe this," or "Can you believe this?" Something as he's rearranging her arm. It's really good. Michael looks so uncomfortable and just discombobulated right here. It's very good.
And of course, Emily is sleeping through all of this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even him falling out of bed. All right, next scene, we're in Jerry's apartment. The Seinfelds are visiting for a few days, and we hear about Morty's new exercise device, the travel gym. He does it every morning at 4, only 25 minutes a day, and you can attach it to any doorknob. And we'll actually see it later. How would you describe this thing? It's
a simplified system of pulleys, just rope with those little like circular bearing things in it to pull the rope back and forth. It
reminds me of is it Norditrack? What's the thing where you would? Was there a device like where you'd be skiing? Like
that's Nordic Track, yeah.
And you'd be pulling the ropes out.
Yep. Well, there's some resistance, for the arms, but then he's stretching the legs, so
right.
It's perfect for Morty.
So the Seinfelds get real for a second, and they want to talk to Jerry about something.
Am I finally getting a baby brother?
Vinny, be serious.
I love to use that line with my parents when they FaceTime me and they like, "Oh, we got to tell you something." And
you
gets a laugh.
You are the baby brother, though.
I am.
Mm-hmm. Jerry did joke about having a sister in the Chinese restaurant, so...
He did, but...
was that a joke?
Where did we settle on that? I like to believe... I like to believe that it was a joke. I forget where we settled on it at the time, but the way he was kind of just rifling my mom to my sister to me, that he was just kind of trying to prolong his frustration in that moment.
I think in reality, though, it's like that line, it's 3:30 in the morning, I'm at a cockfight, where it's just like, maybe we shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm. Real life Jerry, though, does have a real life sister, so go figure.
There you go. Well, the Seinfelds wonder how Jerry would feel if they sold the Cadillac, since, it's too much car. But Jerry insists, nope, I want you to keep it. It was a gift.
We already sold it. Now, notice that line, the Cadillac is too much car, because that's going to come back later.
Right. So as Jerry and his parents are talking, Kramer enters.
Man, that Emily is wearing me out.
Kramer.
No, it's not the sex, Jerry. Hey, Seinfeld. Hiya, Kramer.
We're in the middle of a discussion here.
Yeah, what about?
Jerry's upset we sold the Cadillac.
Yeah, what'd you get for it?
Jack Klompus gave us $6,000.
You sold my Cadillac to Jack Klompus?
And we want you to have the money.
I don't need the money.
What are you talking about? You had a check bounce at the bodega.
Oh, is that what this is all about? I bounced a check and you sold a Cadillac?
Well, also, Jerry, we read an article in the Sun Sentinel. It says that stand-up comedy is not what it used to be, what with Def Jam and all.
Yeah, that Def Jam is a force.
Jerry, I hear wonderful things about Bloomingdale's executive training program.
Oh, my God.
Well, you're giving this comedy thing your best shot. Yeah, you had some good observations, but it's over. Yeah, this Bloomingdale thing, that could be the next wave.
I love that opening there when Kramer walks in. Whoa, Seinfeld!
He is so good at acting like he's caught off guard and trying to mask what he said.
Do you think the Seinfelds heard everything?
I don't at all. I think they're just staring ahead in a haze and didn't even hear.
Oh boy. And as I mentioned earlier, the great reference, the callback of sorts to last week with the check bouncing at the bodega.
Yep. So last week, the Seinfelds sent Jerry $50 because they thought he was in financial distress. Now they're giving him $6,000.
$6,000. They got ripped, by the way, on that.
Yeah, they did.
On that sale to Jack Klompus. And also we get one of my favorite trivia questions. What's the name of the newspaper in Del Boca Vista?
I hate this because this is one of the questions we got wrong in our first trivia.
Oh, did we?
We all thought it was Boca Breeze.
The Boca. Oh, right.
Remember? But it was actually the Sun Sentinel. And I was like, I had never, that's one of those things that just, the line just glosses over you and you forget it. But now it's stuck here.
I think that needs to be a revised trivia question. What's the name of the newsletter, the Boca Breeze?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the Sun Sentinel isn't necessarily connected to the condo. That could just be like a general newspaper.
That's true.
Okay.
So we learned that it is, in fact, Jerry that the Seinfelds are concerned about, and they're trying to urge him to give up comedy and pursue other career options.
And that Def Jam is a force, Vinny. Don't forget.
Mm-hmm. And love how Kramer's got to get that apple bite in there as he's delivering that line. The next wave, crunch.
And I love this role of Kramer of just like he has his shit together,
Yeah.
Like, come on, Jerry. It's over.
He's been sticking it to Jerry the past couple weeks with little comments. That's the only way you'll learn.
Right, but we established last week that he is looking out for Jerry. Like, he cares about him.
Of course, but he's still got to get one in there while doing it.
Anyways, let's cut over to this, I think it's called D'Amico Fresh Roasted Coffee. And George orders a pound of Arabian Mocha Java. Another great trivia question. And then he heads to the bathroom. While he's gone, Elaine mentions to Jerry, about some Peterman stock options. Apparently she's, set to make some money as president. And when George comes back, Elaine has bought his coffee for him and insists, hey, it's on me. And after she leaves, George is pretty irritated, and he thinks, she's sticking it to him that she makes more money.
She's sticking it to me.
Ah, you're crazy.
Sticking it to me, Jerry.
George.
Sticking it. I do like how, as Elaine's discussing the stock options, George could not care less. So he's just like, I'm going to the bathroom, and just leaves without even acknowledging her.
Right.
And the other thing I never got until today watching this episode, that Arabian strong coffee. And what does Elaine say?
It's PLO blend.
I had no idea what that meant. I just would always say it's PLO blend. That's a quote. But apparently it stands for Palestine Liberation Organization. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that one.
Okay. Okay then. I guess we'll move right along.
Well, we're very big, obviously, into Israel and Palestine. So
yeah, I'm hip to the scene. There was an alternate line with the counter guy, who is played by Leon W. Grant, where as Elaine's discussing her stock options, he chimes in saying, "Yeah, they offer stock options to the employees here. On paper, I'm a millionaire," and all the employees behind the counter, chuckle at that.
I like that.
So yeah,
swap some stock.
Exactly. Bulls, bears, people from Connecticut.
All right, let's cut over to Monks here. Jerry is hatching a little scheme here. He's planning to fly down to Florida and buy back his parents' Cadillac without them knowing. He doesn't like that they lied to him about selling it. How are they going to like about him buying it back?
They think they can dump $6,000 on me? Think again.
What kind of money you think your parents have?
Excuse me?
I bet they have more money than mine.
Come on, your parents have money.
You think?
When did they ever spend any money?
Never.
What are their living expenses?
Nothing.
Where do they ever go on vacation?
Nowhere. How much money do you think they have?
A few $100,000?
You're saying I stand to inherit $300,000? Is that what you're saying?
Of course, you may not see it for 20 years.
20 years, that long?
Does your father still eat bacon and eggs every day?
Unfortunately, yes.
How's your family history?
I have an aunt that died at 7.
Really?
Aunt Baby.
Ooh, this is a great little exchange here. My first question for you, Matt. How would you describe Jerry's tone when George asks, what kind of money you think your parents may have? And Jerry says, excuse me?
Yeah, Jerry does seem a little, uncomfortable, to say the least. Or, whoa, what is it? How's it any of your business?
Another thing from this clip is the final 2 lines were ad-lib during filming. So originally it was going to end with George saying, I have an aunt that died at 7. But we see that Jerry adds on that, really. And George gives a great line read of Aunt Baby.
Wow. So the infamous Aunt Baby was not even in the script.
We can thank Jason Alexander for that one.
Man, that's crazy.
So as a result, I guess from that ad-libbing, it must have caught Jerry off guard, and he actually cracked up because there's a nice little blooper that accompanied this ending of this scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jason makes the Aunt Baby line, and then he smirks at himself. I guess he's amused at what he said, and that causes Jerry to then crack up.
I love the whole Costanza family tree, or even if Estelle's in that. It's just very bizarre. From Aunt Baby to we'll find out Cousin Henny later.
Who was the bosomy family member?
That was, I think, Estelle's mom. I think he also mentions I'm down to one kiss hello, my Aunt Celia, something like that. So it would be fun to pour over all the episodes and kind of plot out the Costanza Seinfeld family trees.
Remember his brother once impregnated a woman?
Right. That would be the brother with a question mark on it. Jerry's sister with a question mark. Yeah.
It's like the Facebook profile with no picture.
Right. All right. Next scene here. Let's cut over to Elaine's office. Kramer stops by to talk about some lady problems.
Okay.
Kramer doesn't, want Emily in the bed after they have sex because, she's throwing off his sleep.
She's got the Jimmy legs.
Jimmy legs?
Yeah, Jimmy legs.
Okay. And Kramer just kind of sticks his leg out, starts shaking it. Mm-hmm. I only get that when, when you fall asleep but your body isn't quite ready. Mm-hmm. And you kind of spasm awake.
Yeah, my dad does that when he naps. So twitch.
Mm-hmm. Is that the Jimmy leg?
It could be Jimmy leg. I think. Okay. Jimmy body. What Jimmy from the Jimmy? What if he had this condition? What would you call it?
I think he did. When he didn't he break? I got a compound fracture. Sorry, what would I call it? I got lost.
All right. Well, it's nice to know we're back on track.
Hey, speaking of our partner's sleep behavior, is there anything you want to share that Kelly does weird when she sleeps that you're like, oh, either it's keeping you up or you've noticed it?
Excuse me?
All right, cross the line there. I do have a funny thing I wanted to mention about Liz. I don't think she'll mind me saying. For the past, past couple of months, this has been happening. So Liz usually falls asleep before me because I like to read in bed. And I don't know, maybe like an hour or so will pass. She's fast asleep. Every once in a while, she'll laugh.
Aww.
And I'm like, oh, what's she thinking about? And at first I'm like, what's so funny? And she didn't respond. She's like dreaming, like she's laughing while she sleeps. And I'll tell you, the first time it happened, it was really creepy.
Yeah.
But it's not like one of those coarse ha ha. It's
right.
like
maybe she was doing stand up at Kennebunkport, Maine.
right.
On a big cliff.
Well, at first I thought she was listening to Seincast, because we're so funny. But...
Shameless plug, yeah.
Right.
When Kelly and I were dating, we still are dating, but when we started sharing a bed...
Are your parents listening right now, Vinny?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. I don't know if, when you kiss your significant other on the forehead or the cheek when they're sleeping or something.
What, am I tucking them in?
Well, yeah, or, when you wake up, but she would just have a look like a scowl on her face because she's kind of cranky when she wakes up. It takes a lot to get her going, to get her up out of bed, but she would be just not feeling it. So I quickly had to stop that. So that's one thing she does.
Yeah, that works.
I also recall one time when I think it was a night where I couldn't sleep, so I'm up, and she just she looks up at me, and I told her this, and she goes, just go back to bed. And I've never let her live that down. It's always this nice little laugh we share as a result.
Wait, she was asleep when she did that?
Yeah, she kind of just looked up, eyes, still closed, and she kind of in a haze yelled at me to go back to bed. So it's this little, in moment we always share now.
That's
great.
She loves. Nice. Yeah. Well, in the Kramer-Emily situation here, he really likes her, but isn't sure exactly how to tell her about the issue he has. So this is where Elaine kind of gets uncomfortable, and she's like, Kramer, you might be more than a few tweaks away from a healthy relationship.
Well, you're not exactly zeroing in yourself, lady.
All right, get out. Get out!
I feel like Kramer touched a nerve there.
Right. Whenever you mention, Elaine being single or...
striking out dating-wise.
Yeah, anything with her personal life.
Hey, when you ever get a date, I'll go out. Yes.
I kind of side with, both Elaine and Kramer here. Like, for Elaine, it is really weird that this guy she doesn't really socialize with would come to her office to talk about this. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, Kramer does have a good point, and he's a nice guy. He's like, I don't want to hurt her feelings. Like,
right. He's coming from a good place, but they've discussed other things before in a sexual realm.
That's true.
And they've also pretended to be lovers at one point, so everything's on the table. But Kramer is being a good guy. He's just
going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's cut over to Jerry's apartment here. The Seinfelds are sitting on the couch. When Jerry enters the room with some luggage, we didn't really talk about this earlier. He plans to go down to Florida, buy back the Cadillac, but he wants to, do it behind his parents' back. So he's like, oh, I have to go down to Atlantic City to perform at Bally's. They had a cancellation, and they instantly called me. Who canceled, Vinny?
Carrot Top.
Love that. There's so many great deliveries this week by Jerry, like mentioning other comedians.
I have that in my notes as well, and lots of nice, fun, little quotable moments from all four characters, as well as the secondary, too.
All right, let's cut over to the Costanzas. George is eating dinner with his parents.
I've been thinking about the family. Tell me about Aunt Baby.
She's deceased.
Yeah. Why did she die so young?
She had problems. Internal.
Is that common in our family?
Well, your Uncle Mo, he died a young man.
Also, internal problems.
It's their temper on their side. They're yelling, and then one day, they're all gone.
What about your side? Your cousin Henny. She was sickly from the moment I met her.
Don't you talk about Henny!
So I guess you two are the lucky ones.
So far.
Frank, if Aunt Baby were alive today, how old would she be?
she'd never make it.
I'm so thankful for this scene and to have all four of the parents in the episode. But Frank, in as solemn as he can deliver, she's deceased. Problems.
She never make it. There's so much great stuff, and it goes to show you don't need to have the Costanzas yelling at each other for it to be funny.
No, they're just off in such a wonderful way that it's magic when they're on screen together.
I mean, I love that line. Don't you talk about Henny.
I guess what, and then he just settles down. So far,
yeah.
But when someone dies, what other problems could it be other than internal? Only Frank would describe it as internal.
All right, so we've got Aunt Baby, Cousin Henny, and Uncle Mo.
Does he have a gimpy leg?
Oh, that's good. And everyone had internal problems. And, Stell makes a good point. It's probably the temper. Like, everyone's getting ulcers or, I don't know, having strokes or heart attacks.
She was sickly from the moment I met her.
Oh, Henny. We did spot something, some dialogue that was cut about Henny, right?
Yeah, apparently Frank told George that he used to cover his mouth to avoid being contaminated by Henny. So...
Did she have
nice family.
Tuberculosis or something?
Perhaps, or she was just icky.
All right, let's get over to Monks. Kramer and Emily are sitting at one of the tables talking about their sex life, and she's confused. Does Kramer actually enjoy the lovemaking?
Oh, yeah, like strawberry pie. Why am I doing it like Jimmy Stewart?
Oh, yeah, like strawberry pie.
And if you look to the table next to them, you see Pete Papadopoulos and David Richardson, who are crew members.
Yeah, so when Emily says, you
enjoy the lovemaking.
Yeah, and they're like, what? Oh, my God. I don't know if we've seen Pete Papadopoulos yet, but he's the older guy with, white hair, goatee. Yes. David Richardson, though, he has been all over Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. What's funny is I kind of worked ahead and I was watching some other episodes the other night, and there's a later scene, I forget who's in it, but it's the same table. Maybe it's Elaine with Sam, Molly Shannon, and Pete Papadopoulos is sitting at the same table again.
Oh, nice. That's his spot.
So he's a regular, yeah.
Cool.
Kramer goes on to explain, without some solid sack time, he's a zombie. And he kind of starts begging a little bit, so Emily decides to meet him halfway and, admits, you're not easy, Kramer.
I know. So here we meet Sarah Silverman, who plays Emily, and may I say, this woman has not aged. I've been watching her since the mid-'90s, and she looks the exact same. Mm-hmm. She's, primarily known as a stand-up comedian, but you've seen her in movies. She was in Something About Mary, School of Rock. She currently does a voice on Bob's Burgers. She had her own program, the Sarah Silverman program, so you've seen her.
Yeah, Sarah Silverman is probably one of the most recognizable faces, I think, to appear on Seinfeld.
Agreed.
As a guest star, and it got me wondering what other top-tier stand-ups, who else has appeared on the show? Kathy Griffin, Janine Garofalo, I don't know if she still performs.
Yeah. Jay Leno, being a longtime comedian before he got into the Tonight Show.
Good point.
Dave Letterman, also comedian.
Anyone else? No offense to people like, George Wallace, he's hilarious, but, you kind of call them who's who comedians.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedians that appear that are, among the circle of stand-up comedy. They're big names, but probably not household names to the average person.
What's the guy with the nostrils? And
that's Dom Herrera. He's a comedy legend.
A legend, but I feel like most people don't know him by name.
Yeah.
These days, at least.
Who else?
I want to say Wanda Sykes, but that's Curb.
Yeah, Curb.
Yeah, I can't think of any, but I'm sure we'll think of some before we release the episode. We'll be like, that's what we should have said.
That's what I should have said.
I think Sarah Silverman is a great addition to the show. I don't know. I feel like she really fits in really well. And out of all the Kramer girlfriends, I wish this one had worked out.
Or at the very least, we got to see her for a couple more episodes.
Right, because she's not. We don't know enough about her really outside of her sleep cycle, but.
Right.
She just works well with Kramer, I feel.
I do like, and we haven't seen it yet, but we're going to see them kind of blend into this married couple role, a la Jerry with Meryl, where they're pretending to be married.
But it feels very dated, like 1960s.
Well, it's like you're going back in a time machine to see how Frank and Estelle lived,
right?
Because they're in that house. But you get a little bit of a sense of Emily's character there too. But yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to see more of her.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's cut over to Florida. I'm confused here. Let's just call it Del Boca Vista, right?
Okay. That's what it says on the map, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true. We keep, Indiana Jonesing the New York to Florida, New York to Florida. So we're in Jack's condo here when Jerry arrives.
So, to what do I owe the pleasure of this unannounced visit?
I want to buy back the Cadillac.
You want to buy it back? Why? You got drugs hidden in the trunk? I'm kidding.
All right, I'll give you $9,000 for it.
$9,000 for a Cadillac? It's got no miles on it.
You bought it for $6,000.
You're not me.
How much do you want for it?
The Kelly Blue Book value, $22,000.
$14,000.
Done. But I get to drive it tomorrow because Doris wants to go to Naples. You need a pen? Still works.
You can't replace this guy. Thank you, Sandy, for getting out of that coma.
Right. It's just great. I love seeing these season 3 characters return, even though Jack has popped in from time to time.
And we get that wonderful reference to the pen.
Of course.
Still works.
And not only the pen, but Doris. Remember Doris?
I love the mention of Naples, because my parents who live in Florida drive to Naples.
Oh, really?
On the weekend, yeah. So this really hits home.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I have I had some Florida geography I wanted to talk to you about later. All right, next scene, we're in Jerry's apartment. Kramer stops by looking for Jerry's shoe shine kit. Makes me think that Michael came up with that on the spot. But yeah. He's looking for Jerry's shoe shine kit. He always hides it. And the Seinfelds tell him, Jerry's actually in Atlantic City performing at Bally's. So Kramer just grabs the phone and dials the number from memory.
I used to have a problem. Nice little callback there to Kramer's gambling problem.
I feel like, that is one of Kramer's defining characteristics. Mm-hmm. He might not bring it up all the time, but if you want like a good background on the character, gambling problem would, I don't know, be up there.
Yeah, vintage clothing, high hair, doofus, gambling problem. Mm-hmm. And this is a character trait that tracks all the way back to the subway with him, putting money on Papanik. And then we also see it referenced in the Diplomats Club when he goes up against Earl Hafler.
Mm-hmm. Well, the hotel clerk says that, Jerry Seinfeld isn't registered. So Kramer's like, well, let me spell out the name.
Seinv.
F-E-L-D.
F-E-L-D. So that means Kramer not only doesn't know how to spell Seinfeld, he also cannot spell Bennis either. Bennis. I wonder if he would spell Costanza with a K or a Q.
Well, Kramer persists, and eventually the conversation ends, and he hangs up. Jerry isn't there?
No, they never heard it. There's that tone again.
My favorite.
So that's where the scene ends, right? But you see Kramer walk off towards Jerry's bedroom as they're cutting to the next scene. Kramer was supposed to say, you know what? I'll just wear Jerry's shoes.
Oh, that because he was looking for the shoe shine kit?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Why would Jerry hide it?
Maybe after the whole mom and pop store debacle, he's like, I don't want Kramer doing anything with my shoes, but...
It's a good call, Stan.
I don't know. Anyways, let's cut over to the Beach Cafe. I recognize this exterior, and I'm pretty sure this is... it's used a lot for, different restaurants, but this is where Babs worked as the...
Maître d',
I was going to say Maître d' too. The matron, right?
Nice, yeah.
The interior changes, I think, from time to time. This is, I think, one of the few times the interior kind of matches with the windows there. But
okay.
Anywho, George is taking Elaine and the Seinfelds out for dinner and claims that, nothing makes him happier than spending money on the people he cares about. And that's not all. He reaches under the table and pulls out this huge gift to thank Elaine for buying the Arabian Mocha Java.
it's like a coffee maker, isn't it, with a bow on it?
A coffee maker.
That's what that's what I think.
Anyways, Elaine is flattered, but tells George, I can afford to buy you coffee. I'm president of a big company. And Morty's ears kind of perk up when he hears that she's president, or however he says it. Anyways, Jerry arrives to join the group. He's got his luggage in tow.
Hey, look, he's back! Hey.
I got your message, so I came straight from Atlantic City.
Jerry, Kramer called Bally's. You weren't registered.
Well, I can't stay under my own name. I was registered under Slappy White.
Mom, Dad.
Oh, look who's here. Hello, Seinfeld.
What are you doing here?
We're having an upscale dinner.
What?
Well, after talking to you, we realized we may not have much time left.
So we're blowing it all. Look, George, it's a Pierre Cardin.
Love it.
Really blowing through that money.
Yeah. George is he can't let this Elaine thing go. He feels slighted that Elaine sprung for the coffee when it was really just a nice gesture.
Yeah, and this is a side of George I feel like we haven't seen in a while. Like, the whole, did you see what just happened here?
Yeah. I mean, usually especially with Elaine, he kind of accepts that she is the more successful one and better off. But here, he just cannot let it go. But it makes for a good storyline.
Absolutely. And I love the moment when, Jerry arrives and Helen's like, we called Bally's, you weren't registered. And he's like, yeah, I was registered under Slappy White. Love that.
Famous comedian. And how about the way the Seinfelds and the Costanzas greeted each other? You can still see there's that animosity there.
Oh, the Seinfelds don't even say hi or acknowledge them.
That's true. Hello, Seinfelds. And Morty just kind of
looks,
gives a little nod at all. Can't even bring himself to say anything.
Nothing. Yeah, it's pretty bad. They really hate them. And, we can talk about this later, but I really feel like we missed out on more Seinfeld-Costanza drama, especially with the Costanzas moving down to Florida.
Yep. I still contend that would have been the best idea for a spinoff, was to take the parents and have them living in Del Boca. You could have brought in all these older actors. It would have been phenomenal. Right,
and have characters like Jerry or Elaine pop in. I don't know, like in a season premiere or something.
Yep. They never try anything.
Well, let's get over to Emily's apartment. Familiar scene, Kramer saying his usual, oh, that was all right. And lets a few moments pass, as they lay next to each other until...
Well, I'll see you.
Yes. Kramer heads back to his place, and he's fast asleep when around, 4 a.m., Morty, quietly sneaks out of Jerry's apartment in his workout gear and attaches that travel gym. A lot of, how do we describe it, Vinny? Like... cables
and pulleys and
this little device to Kramer's doorknob out in the hallway, and he starts working out, which basically looks like he pulls the right arm and that lifts up his left leg. Pulls the left arm, lifts up his right leg.
It's adorable.
And from inside Kramer's apartment, he's woken up by the noise of the doorknob rattling, and he sees the knob twisting. And it looks like someone is trying to get in.
It's not only twisting, Matt, but it's a complete revolution, and it's going around in a circle. Almost like it's one of, like we talked about those scary moments were the scariest moments in the series, and it was a Mr. Marbles kind of thing. This is a very scary moment. Somebody trying to get in somehow.
Oh yeah.
But I notice if you look on the side that Morty's on as he's pulling back and forth.
I know what you're going to say.
15-9, the doorknob doesn't turn all the way. It just goes back and forth and back and forth. I already did that one. But if you look on Kramer's side, it's completely turning.
Oh,
which has the more, I think, scary effect.
All right, still 15-9. All right, I don't want you to worry here, but
here we go.
I was actually going somewhere else where...
Damn.
So Kramer's door opens in to his apartment.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the shot of the doorknob from inside Kramer's apartment, the door would be opening out into the hallway. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're way ahead of me then, because I did not notice that.
One of those weird continuity errors. I don't know what door they were shooting, but it just ruined the entire episode for me.
Okay. Oh, and I love that. Is there a clock that shows 4 a.m.? Is that right?
Well, I think
because he says it late. He says it later to Elaine that he gets up at 4. I can be here as early as 4:25, right?
Yeah. Oh, I never put that together. Yeah. So earlier, I think Morty says I get up every morning at 4.
Yeah.
It only takes me 25 minutes. Oh, what a dummy! I never.
And then we'll hear Kramer say somebody was jiggling the door for 25 minutes.
Well, yeah, totally.
But like all these little time things sync up, which is perfect.
All right, let's go over to Jerry's apartment here the next morning. Jerry gets a phone call from Jack Klompus, who had a little mishap with the car.
Better get down here.
We cut down to Florida, and there's Jack, just covered in dirt and grease. Looks like he's been through a lot. The Cadillac half emerged in a swamp. Now Jerry has to get down to Florida, but what does he tell his parents?
That was the golden nugget. They heard such good things about my show at Bally's. They want me for tonight, so I'll have to repack and go.
So Jerry heads to his bedroom to pack, and Morty and Helen are pretty suspicious and worry that they might have to start supporting Jerry financially. Morty knows what that means. He'll have to go back to work. And he remembers what Elaine said earlier about being president. Maybe she could help.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And here's one of these little, I think, just coincidence that works out so nicely that Morty has this history of working in the garment business, selling raincoats for all these years. Elaine works for a clothing catalog, so it syncs up perfectly for them to team up for a storyline.
So more to come here. We're going to get an act break, but something that always caught my attention in this scene when Jack tells Jerry, I'm down here in Alligator Alley. I always wondered what that was, and I just, went on Wikipedia, and I'm sure your parents know about it, living in Florida, but, it's part of the interstate there. From Naples to like Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And I thought this was interesting. According to Wikipedia, the name Alligator Alley was given by AAA while that road was planned, since they believed it would be useless to cars, merely an alley for alligators. However, as alligators often frequent the waterways beside the road and occasionally the road itself, the nickname has developed a somewhat literal meaning. In general, though, that portion, Alligator Alley, suffered from poor construction and environmental planning. It was also notorious for high-speed accidents in both head-on collisions and collisions with wildlife.
Huh. So it's fitting that Jack Klompus had an accident there.
Right. And, later he'll blame it on the car, like, it drove itself into the swamp. But at least there's a history in Alligator Alley of accidents, I guess.
Maybe an alligator was on the road, and we have a deal with the alligators, too, that Jack didn't abide by.
Good point.
Think about that.
So then Jack would run over it. He'd have to take care of it. Now you got your spinoff.
Sold.
All right, let's get over to Elaine's office here. This is when Morty shows up looking for a job.
Well, Mr. Seinfeld, I'm not sure I understand why you want a job here.
What's not to understand?
Well, for one thing, you live in Florida.
I'm very comfortable working out of the house. I have a phone. We have a Kinko's nearby. I think that my resume speaks for itself.
Where is your resume?
I don't have it. I'll mail you one.
All right, Mr. Seinfeld, what kind of a position did you have in mind?
You sell clothes here, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I sold raincoats in the garment center for 38 years. In 1949...
All right. You come in tomorrow. We'll find something for you to do.
You won't regret this, Miss Bennis. What time should I be in? I get up at 4. I could be here as early as 4:25.
Oh, Elaine. This dry air is curing me like a Black Forest ham.
Mr. Peterman. Back.
Who's Mr. Fancy?
I really like dolled up Morty. Got the hair slicked back. He's in his office attire. But just, he's been out of the game for so many years. He has no idea how things work. I'm very comfortable working out of the house. I have a phone. We have a Kinko's nearby. Are Kinko's still in existence?
I think it's a like a FedEx Kinko's merging.
Yes, they changed the name. But
where's your resume?
I don't have one. I'll mail you one. How can you not love this guy?
And Vinny, we're kind of glossing over the fact that we have the return of J. Peterman, returning to power since leaving in the Foundation.
Welcome back, Jacopo.
So Elaine is back to her I know, her assistant work of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Notice in all of her jobs, she's tended to kind of get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, she gets bossed around.
Grunt work, yeah.
Yeah. Makes a lot more sense that the power would go to her head, right?
Yeah.
As president. Move. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get over to Emily's apartment. Once again, Kramer and Emily laying in bed, but this time, Kramer wants to spend the night. But this time, Emily actually would prefer if you left.
You were completely right. I sleep so much better when I'm alone. And you scream in your sleep.
But Kramer, of course, is terrified of going back home and explains that there was a man trying to get into my apartment last night. A fearless cat burglar.
Burglar. 25 minutes.
So Kramer has a deal with Emily if he's going to sleep over, right?
He'll stay over on his side.
What else?
He'll stuck a sock in his mouth. Because he don't want us to sleep alone.
All right, let's move over to Del Boca.
How attractive is Kramer to Emily in this moment?
Oh, yeah. He'll do anything.
He's like just cowering under the covers.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this point, yeah, she just feels bad for this guy. It's like, what is wrong with you? I don't know, with that dog medicine he took recently, he could just sleep at the end of the bed, you know?
That's true.
All curled up.
Woof.
All right, let's get over to Del Boca Vista. Jerry arrives to find Jack and the Cadillac covered in swamp water, hooked up to a tow truck.
What took you so long?
I live in New York. What the hell happened?
This thing is a behemoth.
What did you do?
I was making a simple lane change. I put on the blinker and it took off on me. And next thing you know, I was submerged. I'm telling you, Jerry, I'm very lucky that those Crocs didn't get me.
You are such an idiot. Well, we got to get the car cleaned up for my parents.
Do whatever you want. It's your car.
My car? You drove it into the swamp?
It drove itself into the swamp. Besides, I think I lost my pen, too.
You know, that almost makes this all worthwhile.
What I like about this scene so much is the, is it ego on Jack or just like, what took you so long? Like, he's the one who screwed up, drove the car into the swamp, and yet he's blaming Jerry for taking so long to get from New York to Florida.
Yeah, he's not a very considerate man.
And there seems to be a bit of animosity between the Klompuses and the Seinfelds. Both the parents with Jack as well as Jerry with Jack.
Yeah, he always seems to be like a problem for Morty, despite being like a friend.
Yeah, there's contempt there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Jack is being so difficult to deal with in this entire episode. Kelly, Blue Book value.
Oh, yeah.
It's your car now.
Which, by the way, that means he made, what did he make, $8,000 as a profit on that? The Seinfeld sold it for $6,000, and then Jerry bought it for $14,000. Is that right?
Oh,
my number's right.
I thought he paid a lot more than that. But what's the Kelly Blue Book value? Was it 14?
No, the Kelly Blue Book was 22, and then Jerry says 14,000, done. But I get to drive it to Naples.
Right. Yeah. So
Jack made an $8,000 profit off of Jerry.
Right, and I think Jerry later will say, I thought he said he spent over $20,000. Oh,
that's
with the initial
on the car to get back and forth and to fix it back up.
Oh, that too. Okay. Yeah. Plus the initial purchase of the car. Don't forget that.
You're right. But that the best part of this is that line that is so like the very essence of Jerry. All this stuff is going on. The car's damaged. He's got to do all this work, and yet he takes such satisfaction in knowing that the pen is gone forever. That the one thing that Jack that made him whole is gone.
Yeah, the pen, something that I don't think we talked about way back in season 3. Had a whole episode about it. It would eventually meet its fate in the bottom of a swamp in Alligator Alley. Well, let's cut over to the Costanzas. George stops by and finds out that his parents bought a Cadillac. It's actually just parked outside.
Your father wanted a Mercedes, but I won't ride in a German car.
So this is interesting. I forget what the Costanzas used to drive.
Well, 68 GTO was his dad's car when they separated.
That was like the bachelor Frank.
Correct. Yeah.
But when they were together, I assumed it was some sort of boat, like a Buick or...
Well, that was in the handicap spot, right? His father's car?
Right, yeah. But we lost that back in season 4, so...
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're going to have a Cadillac, in a sense, throughout the rest of the show.
Okay. And George doesn't seem too happy that they made this big purchase.
Yeah.
He's kind of biting his tongue.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're just blowing through this money, right?
Yeah.
It's not enough, though.
What kind of Cadillac is it, Matt? It's a Coupe d'Elegant.
Well, suddenly Kramer appears from the kitchen in his robe, and he's like holding a cup of coffee, sits down with the Costanzas. Apparently he needed a little company after the trouble at his place.
Of course.
And his whole entrance here, the whole situation reminds me of The Wizard. When Kramer moves down to Florida, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, when'd you get in?"
I could see that, being surrounded by all geriatrics, yes.
Mm-hmm. But turns out Frank, Estelle, and Kramer, they've been talking, and they feel the best way to blow through their savings is by moving down to Florida.
You can drop $1,000 in Disney World like that.
So we're kind of revisiting the premise in, I forget the episode, but when Frank calls Morty, we're moving into Del Boca Vista.
Mm-hmm. And, in typical Seinfeld fashion, the way storylines kind of mirror each other, Kramer is counseling the Seinfelds about Jerry's future in the same way that he right now is counseling the Costanzas about their future. Like,
right.
Kramer is the mediator here.
I guess the whole issue is like they have this money, they want to spend as much of it as possible, enjoy it, but they're just not able to buy enough with it in New York. Is that right?
It's low. Well, where they're living is very low rent. That's
right.
what the Kramer's getting at.
So it's very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm. What a predicament they're in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wonder what the that exterior of the Costanzas. I wonder what those houses go for now.
Mm-hmm. I would think 2017 is pretty expensive, right?
Oh.
Any place in New York.
I mean, it's just going up, right? So for the Costanzas, it's either move down to Florida or stay in Queens near George and just sit on the money. What are they going to do? Let's go over to Peterman's. Now things have returned to normal. Elaine is sitting with her coworkers, around Peterman's desk as he leads the meeting.
So, anyway, effective immediately, Miss Bennis will return to her old position at her original salary, and I, of course, will return to mine. Kudos, Elaine, on a job done.
About my stock options.
I think not. Now, down to business. I have had this vision of a diaphanous rum runner scarf.
Well, we could fly some fabric in from our silk factories for about $1,000 a bolt.
1,000? I know a couple of Chinamen over there on 43rd Street will do it for half that.
It's Asian Americans.
What?
Who are you?
Don't worry.
Morty Seinfeld. I cut velvet for 40 years with Harry Alper.
Okay, Mr. Seinfeld, this is not...
Elaine, did you hire this man?
No. Well, I mean, he's more like an intern, at best.
I like
that
this
delivery.
this Morty as the underling. It's kind of nice to see, because he's had an established career. Now he's starting from square one, and the boss seems to not like him at all.
Yeah, that look and delivery too of "Who are you?" is just stellar.
That and kudos Elaine on a job done. That's very good.
Yeah, I've missed Peterman so much. And speaking of bosses, we have not seen Steinbrenner all season.
You're right. But we did see an exterior of Yankee Stadium in this episode, didn't we?
Yeah, but I mean, like in terms of like these colorful, over the top bosses.
Yeah, it's a shame because my favorite aspect of George is when he did work for the Yankees and had all these interactions with Steinbrenner.
Right.
Fortunately, because Larry's gone. I think they tried to move away from more Yankee plots. So that means less Steinbrenner and less time at Yankee Stadium, unfortunately.
But now that Peterman's back, it's just crazy how much you don't realize how much you miss these characters until they show up again.
Yeah, that's great.
But I like Morty in this situation too. He's over the hill, he's washed up, and yet he's trying to still like compete in 90s business world.
And speaking of 90s business world, let's go back to the 40s where he refers to he knows a couple of Chinamen over on 43rd Street who'll do it for half that.
It's Asian Americans.
What? And yet I find him adorable, even though he's, a
little out of touch.
It's a generational thing.
So something that was mentioned here that kind of took me off guard, we always get the reference to Harry Fleming, right?
Right.
Morty. I was always confused. I think Harry Fleming was his boss, and Morty came up with the executive, and he sold it for Harry Fleming, right? Kind of.
That's how I interpret it. Yeah, and he was very proud to go to work for Harry Fleming.
But there's another person mentioned here. Morty used to cut velvet for another gentleman. What was his name?
Harry Alper. Were the writers intending to go with Fleming, or is this a new player in the clothing game, the 40s clothing game?
I don't know.
Now, there's bloopers that accompany this scene as well, in which Barney Martin cannot remember that name.
Well, I got to play the blooper now.
Who are you?
Don't worry about it.
Morty Seinfeld. I cut velvet for 38 years with Herb Alper.
Well, and I think there might be a lot of bloopers to come out of this episode between Julia and either Barney Martin or John O'Hurley. They just can't get these scenes down. And
yeah,
I remember I don't have the clip queued up, but Elaine or Julia's like, I don't know why I'm laughing.
Oh yeah, there's tears streaming down the side of her face. We get a mention of another. I don't know if it would qualify as another Peterman catalog product.
Oh, what's that?
Or is it just the diaphanous Rum Runner scarf?
Oh yeah, very good. Okay. Not a product name, but description at least.
It's the germ of an item.
Yeah. And going back to the the bloopers and just all the extra scenes in general, I think there was a lot of stuff cut out with Elaine and Morty. There was a deleted scene that I saw of Morty would be sharing an office with Elaine. Mm-hmm. And she's working on her computer, and he's got this adding machine, the
one you have to pull the lever down.
Of course, and
oh, nice.
He says something like, "Elaine, if we don't make that Prince William children pajamas flame retardant, we can save an extra 30 cents a unit."
Nice.
If we don't make that Prince William children's pajamas flame retardant, we can save an extra 30 cents a unit. Wait till I tell Jacopo. Wait till I tell Jacopo. Jacopo. Wait till I tell Jacopo. Give me a name, for Christ's sake.
Let's cut over to Monks. A very rare scene here. We always note that whenever we get one of these. George and Elaine together in the back booth talking about George's dilemma. What is it exactly?
If your parents move to Florida, you're poor.
But happy.
Obviously. And if they stay, you're rich, but...
Obviously. This all reminds me of the Cadillac, right? When George and Elaine have to meet to discuss their alibi for Susan.
We have never worked together on a lie.
Right. I mean, it plays out the exact same way, where Elaine wants to change the focus to her, and, George gets frustrated here.
Mm-hmm. Jerry humors him, man.
Right. You can at least humor me. The same thing, Jerry and I have worked together on a lie before. I have a certain way of working. Speaking of Jerry, Elaine explains how crazy Morty is driving her at work, and George suggests, why not just schedule a late meeting?
These old guys are up at 4 a.m. By 2:30 they're wiped. How do we get back on you? I really like how quick George is in this scene. He already has a solution to a problem as if he's gone through it before. Mm-hmm. And yet Elaine is so selfish, she's just like, okay, thanks. I'm out.
No nonsense, Elaine. Getting back to George, though, his dilemma, what do you think is the better situation for him, really?
Well, he makes a good salary now. I mean, he's got a new apartment, and he does well for himself. But his parents tend to be one of the... I don't know what you call it, gnawing factors in his life. So if you let them go, basking in a buffer zone, they've already been through that before.
Right.
And he was sucking down that ice cold beer, loving it. But,
right. I mean, you would George has never really had any distance from his parents. It would be interesting to see, how he can turn his life around.
Yeah. Let him spread his wings, if you will.
Well, let's cut over to the Costanzas here. I guess Kramer's really just making himself at home. He's just walking around the house with like a comforter and
yeah, what's up with that?
He just woke up, I guess. He's just, shuffling through down the hallway maybe to get some breakfast. And he stops by Frank's bedroom and he sees that he and Estelle sleep in separate beds. Apparently they came to an agreement 30 years ago so Frank could get some rest.
Estelle's got the Jimmy arms.
Get that in your arms?
Like you wouldn't believe. They got a little I Love Lucy thing going.
Yes, it's like we can't show a married couple in the same bed. That's inappropriate. I feel like they're just really nailing the Costanzas. Whenever we see a little more to their world, whether it's, the separate beds or like the billiard room or, I don't know, Costanza and Son, I just love seeing more of like their living situation in Queens.
Of course. I'm very satisfied with the amount of both parents in this episode, both couple of parents. Lord.
Yeah, Seinfeld's and the Costanzas. This might be the episode that features them the most. And funny enough, they barely have any scenes together.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut over to Jack's condo. Jerry leafs through a magazine, looking a little disheveled after, dealing with the car.
Jerry, it's getting late. You cleaned up the car. You made all your phone calls. Why are you still here?
Well, I maxed out my credit cards, and I don't have enough cash for a hotel room. So...
You are thinking of staying here?
Well...
You got some nerve. I almost break my neck in that death trap of yours, and now you ask me for a favor?
You didn't like the crack about the pen?
I did not.
So it looks like the one who gets the final laugh in this feud tends to be Jack Klompus, yes?
Yeah. I mean, that is his final scene. Did he win out? I mean, he lost the pen.
True, but man, what an ice-cold response to supposedly a family friend.
What's that?
Well, he's going to make Jerry
here.
sleep on the street. Yeah, it's your own problem, Serve and protect, man.
I wonder what Jerry was expecting. Was he just going to stay there until Jack's like, I'm going to bed? And he's like, all right, I guess I'll take the couch.
Yeah. He was pulling a Kramer.
Yeah. But yeah, the final scene of Jack Klompus. I got to say, like, as a whole, like, this might be my favorite episode next to the pen. And I don't know what that's all about. I mean, his other appearances, he's either mailing raincoats or he's
punching a hole through a window of a garage.
Right. What is the...
You broke my dental plate!
Can't believe you got that old bag.
That's a great line. We could just go through, run Jack Klompus lines for the rest of the day.
But it's just nice that he got kind of like a final send-off here, and it all comes full circle. All right, let's cut over to the Costanzas. George sits down with his parents in the kitchen while Kramer's doing some dishes. I don't know if this was Michael just messing with Jason, but he kind of like drops a plate. You can hear the dishes clatter.
Interrupting George as he's trying to, discuss this matter with his parents. Right. And George gives him a look as if to say he's annoyed.
George has given it a lot of thought, and he wants his parents to stay.
It's too late. We bought a condo in Del Boca Vista. We're leaving tonight.
Turns out it was never George's call. They were just being nice. And in the meantime, Kramer is going to be staying at the Costanzas. In fact, Emily is coming over later. And George just flips out that his parents are letting Kramer have a woman over.
He's not family. It's different psychologically.
They kind of had like a Steinbrenner in there.
Thanks. I'm channeling a little Big Stein. Now, George previously had a woman over, and he got caught. And he got a little bit of a bop in the forehead as a result.
George is referencing that, right? Or alluding to...
I believe so, yeah.
What's her name? Sylvia.
Christ.
In that episode, like the Costanzas are out of town. They come back. They find a prophylactic wrapper on the bedspread.
Oh, his bed was too small, Matt. What did you want him to do?
That's it. You're grounded.
I do see Frank's point of view, though, that it is different. Kramer, go nuts. You can have whoever you want over. Versus flesh and blood.
Right. As Kramer leaves the scene, he's like, "Oh, George, what are you gonna do?" He has a bottle of wine with him,
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking with George and Sylvia, they couldn't open up the liquor cabinet, so they had to drink prune juice. So, Kramer once again.
He's like the son they never had. He's getting all the breaks with them.
All right. Well, he's the youngest, right? He's getting away with everything.
I like that catch, though, the, wine with Kramer versus prune juice for George. That's great.
And let's cut over to Peterman's office here. The final meeting with Morty. He's looking at his watch, getting a little impatient as this meeting goes on and on.
And so I made an explosive out of chickpeas. And I stopped that great rhino right in his tracks.
Well, it's getting kind of late. Why don't we...
Mr. Peterman, that can't have been the only time that you face mortal danger.
Funny you should ask, Elaine.
Look, if we're going to stay here until all hours of the night, can we at least get some food here?
It's only 5:15. So later on that same day, I developed a great hankering for some wild honey.
Okay, I'm done. I'll be back in the morning when he's close to finished with the story.
Morty, my stories are what sell these clothes.
Cheap fabric and dim lighting. That's how you move merchandise.
You're out.
I never knew what the hell I was peddling with those stupid cartoons and that paper book anyway.
It seems like he never had a chance at this company.
Nah, well, he's old school. They used to do things differently, as he says. Cheap fabric and dim lighting. But you did reference that blooper in which it's just adorable to this older actor. He repeated, he says, if we're going to be here until all hours of the night, can we at least get some food in here? Peterman says his line, and then Morty proceeds to say the exact same line.
Oh, I got another blooper to play then.
Please enjoy.
It's only 5:15.
Already? Oh, I got to get something into my system.
Well, we have some sushi coming in an hour.
So later on that same day, I developed a hankering for some wild honey.
Look, as long as we're going to be up here until all hours of the night, can we get some food in here?
Once again, it's only 5:15.
Man, you are so good at just remembering these on the spot.
I would watch these on repeat and just they just brighten your day if you watch a season of bloopers. I can't tell you, it's one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, the DVDs just did a great job collecting all of these bloopers and actually building them out to be about, I don't know, like the length of an episode.
As the seasons progress, season 1 and 2 probably have like 10 minutes worth of bloopers, but the later seasons have 20 to 25 minutes worth of bloopers. So you're right.
I remember when the DVDs came out, you would tell me, just put on the bloopers and like fall asleep to them. Like they were so relaxing to you.
It's the best. I remember I had the old iPod with the click wheel, but it was the first time it was an iPod video, and the first thing I did was had all the bloopers ripped, and I put them on there so I could have them at my disposal.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Let's cut down to Florida here. We haven't really talked about the map all that much this week. How the red line goes down, it goes up, goes back down. This time, it doesn't go from New York City. It goes from Queens to Del Boca Vista. You're right. The Costanzas have moved to Florida, and Frank is out for a walk in his cabana wear. And he spots a parked Cadillac right there. It's not his. It's a similar one. And in the back seat is a man, all curled up, covered with a newspaper, fast asleep. And Frank just throws his hands up and walks off while the man rolls over. It's Jerry.
Jerry! Does this remind you of anything that we've seen in the past? It just came to me. Similar situation.
I'm thinking of someone in the future, but...
No. Think of Frank walking down the street.
Oh, when he sees the bra on the...
I'll give him ass man! Boy, Frank's quite observant to always be walking down the street looking into each car that he passes by.
That's right. He walks by Kramer's car and sees the bra. But was he already heading to Kramer's apartment to confront him? Because Estelle's like, he stopped short and made a grab.
Right. That's right. And then I'll give him ass man. Ass man.
He's like, where's Cosmo? He stopped short. He's like spinning around the room. You know what I was thinking of is the a brief shot in the finale when they're waiting for the verdict, and it cuts to Newman, and he's like asleep in the back of his car.
You're right.
I think there's like potato chips all over him or something.
Of course. Now Newman naps throughout the series, actually.
Yeah. My favorite one, I think, is the pilot. When cuts to all the people watching it, and then it cuts to Newman, and he's like falling asleep to a baseball game.
Genius.
Different
Genius.
network. All right, back to the Costanza's house in Queens. We're in the bedroom here, and Vinny, you really enjoy this scene, right?
Yes, this is what I alluded to earlier with we're kind of getting a glimpse to what it would have been like for Frank and Estelle 30 years ago to be, like newlyweds.
Right, and in this scene, you got Emily in her robe, sitting in bed with a book, while Kramer stands in the bathroom doorway.
I don't know why I let you talk me into that corned beef at Schnitzer's.
No one held a gun to your head. Yeah. Don't forget, we're eating dinner at the Finerman's tomorrow night.
No, why do I have to go? They're your friends.
You like them.
I've had it with them.
Then we won't go.
Okay. What time?
8:30.
That was all right.
It's almost like they've been married for so long that I've had it with them. They're your friends. They're kind of bickering back and forth. And
okay.
There's some passive aggression going on. The opening part of that clip is, I don't know why I let you talk me to that corned beef at Schnitzer's. Which, by the way, Schnitzer's is a classy place. That's where Jerry and Elaine got their babka. Jerry got his black and white cookie. And that's where the Costanzas got their marble rye.
Right, which is a bakery. So I'm like, I guess they do sandwiches too, but...
Maybe, you know what? Maybe that woman coughed on it, and that's why Kramer didn't enjoy it.
And, I want to say this is a goof, but maybe it's just how Michael pronounced the word. They call it Schnitzers in the rye.
Oh, yes.
But he calls it Schnitzers.
I like to believe that's Michael, one of his mispronunciations. I know you're going to leave that in. So I'm not even going to try and say it a second time.
Maybe Schnitzers and Schnitzers are right next to each other.
Okay.
Possibly.
Well, you have salsa and salsa, and then you have Schnitzers and Schnitzers.
Yeah, one's the bakery, one's the deli.
I said Schnitzers, not Schnitzers. Okay.
All right. Now, this is a weird moment. There's no executive producer, Jerry Seinfeld. Instead, we kind of fade out. We get an act break. And then when we come back, we kind of, go back to the episode. And eventually the credits just start playing. Did you notice this?
I did not.
I mean, I think it's happened before, but it seems to be like a tradition of sorts to have a freeze frame, or at least end with the, executive producer credits.
Right. Huh.
Maybe they just had trouble. Maybe there was some restructuring of the episode with Sandy Barron and with Jerry Stiller having some scheduling issues. Right. So maybe they just had to, do this act break. And when we come back, we're at Monk's. And while sitting with Jerry and George, Elaine reads a stock report about Peterman's return and how the stock rose 12.5 points. So if we go back to that earlier scene, if she still had those stock options...
That's a shame.
And we get a nice callback, right? This time it's Elaine telling George that he's sticking it to her.
Mm-hmm. Sticking it. Jerry says that Elaine's not alone. He's practically broke.
Really?
No. But he did blow over $20,000 on that Cadillac.
Delicious. Yeah, George is really enjoying his pie as, everyone's got these problems and his folks are 1,200 miles away. He's basking in the buffer zone.
Another piece of pie here. We do get a little bit of that Jerry, even Steven, like you said earlier, and then George and Elaine kind of switching roles where now George is coming back up, Elaine's going down.
Yeah, I feel like that was the point of this scene, especially when... He's like, no, I'll be fine.
Exactly.
But he does have to bring up, I spent a lot of money on the Cadillac, which is just insane to think someone like Jerry in the show would be okay.
After blowing $20,000 in a week?
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God, how much money does this guy have?
And if you notice the look on Elaine's face, she kind of just sloughs off that Jerry just spent 20 grand. Whereas if we go back to the Cadillac episode, she was so smitten at the very mention of money when Jerry was around.
I'm sorry. Where was I?
850.
Oh, 850.
Oh, that's right. Thanks.
We mentioned Pete Papadopoulos and David Richardson sitting in Monks earlier. I didn't know what he looked like at the time, but the director of photography, Wayne Kennan, is sitting behind Elaine and Jerry.
Wayne Kennan.
And that name might not, sound familiar, but if you check out the DVDs, I believe there's a lot of... am I right on that? Isn't he the guy? Yeah.
He's got very unique looking glasses, and his hair is parted down the middle, and he's very stylish looking. But
right. He looks so different here. He's got like the long hair and I think a goatee.
Yeah. He provides a lot of background information regarding production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting guy. So he was pretty much behind the camera, I think, for most, if not all, the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also Deck McKenzie, Jerry stand-in at the counter. Kind of in the distance. Usually he's more in the foreground, but...
He's there?
Yeah, he's there.
Name's Mitch.
Anyways, Jerry hasn't heard from his parents yet since he bought the Cadillac back for them. And we cut down to Florida. Turns out the Seinfelds sold their condo, and now they're living in a camper attached to the Cadillac.
One of those bullet-looking campers.
Right. Again, I don't understand this. Like, Helen says something like, "Oh, that condo was too much space for us.
Too much house.
Too much house." Why are they doing this?
It's odd because at the start we said they sold the Cadillac purely to have money to give to Jerry because they thought Jerry's career was going poorly. But now it seems like they're struggling financially.
Did they sell the condo and they gave the money to Jerry? Hence why he's not worried about the 20. No, that doesn't make sense.
No, that's not right.
Yeah, it's just weird because I think the Seinfelds will, next time we see them, they'll be living in Del Boca, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, maybe we're missing something that our listeners can help us out with.
We'll check that mailbag next week.
Meanwhile, in Del Boca, Estelle tries to relax while Frank looks out the window, very concerned.
How many times can you check the car?
I saw a bum sleeping in a Cadillac the other day.
Why would someone break into a car to take a nap?
They don't nap, they make it their home. They urinate in there.
You're driving me crazy.
That's it. We're going back to Queens. Where's my hat?
No!
I feel like there could have been another great scene with the Seinfelds running into the Costanzas in Del Boca.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why, the Costanzas left. Or, I'm sorry, why the Seinfelds moved.
Oh, you're right.
Does that make sense?
Well, didn't that occur in a previous episode in the moving in Lock, Stock, and Barrel, which is why because they need a buffer zone from the Costanzas?
Right. Well, they wouldn't move down there, or they wouldn't move back, so they stayed in New York. The Costanzas decided to stay, yeah. I don't know, we talked a lot about Sandy Barron at the top. Jerry Stiller had some scheduling issues during this episode, so I wonder if, that was the plan originally.
Perhaps. Yeah, maybe there's some rewrites to accommodate his schedule.
I mean, again, why would you have the Costanzas and the Seinfelds in an episode if they don't, run into each other?
It's good fodder right there.
Other than the restaurant.
Yeah.
Vinny, what do you say we move on to ratings and reviews?
Love to.
So, what do you think?
So, Matt, was that episode all right?
There's something I said at the top, how, this isn't a very popular episode, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, extremely memorable about it from any of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But by no means is it, a bad episode. This one doesn't drag. I'm just happy that we got so many, classic guest stars, the older generation from Jack, the Seinfelds, the Costanzas. We got probably my favorite Kramer girlfriend, just in terms of compatibility with her.
Yeah.
There was that moment, after he burps. She's not the Jerry and his wife Meryl moment where they're just, hating each other immediately.
Did I say you were stupid?
Wouldn't I have to be? Seems to be a lot of affection, so I like that.
Yeah.
I love how I mean, this doesn't happen all the time, how one title, the money, really connects with, maybe the exception of Kramer, connects with everyone in a big way.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You know, I mean, the money is, or the idea of money is just everywhere this episode. But
so you got Elaine stock options, Jerry with the Cadillac, and then George with inheriting his parents' fortune.
Right.
Wow, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I find kind of messy about this episode, though, is Elaine, like, working, and then, like, Peterman coming back, and then Morty now working for the company. I don't know. It's very busy. But, what?
No, okay, I want to hear your...
there's a lot going on, but in no means, like, do I find it, like, difficult to follow or messy, really. You know, it works. It's a lot happening for, 22 minutes of comedy.
Yeah.
I think. But
like I
would have preferred like Morty going to work for her, and that would have been the arc.
Oh, I see.
Save Peterman's return for another episode.
Gotcha.
Not really a complaint, more of a nitpick. What about you, though? What are your thoughts?
I agree. I would state this episode as all right. Not among my favorites in season 8, but I'm going to mirror all the things you said. I love that we get a wealth of Costanza parents and Seinfeld parents, and some great quotes and one-liners with Kramer's delivery, and lots of great bloopers to come from this episode, which always makes it enjoyable for me. But yeah, this one, if I see the money coming on, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, but it doesn't, get my juices going.
It kind of feels like a stepping stone in a way. It's the episode that plays between the little Jerry and the comeback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like two very like iconic episodes, but
so it's like the slice of cheese and a great, deli sandwiches with some nice cured meats on rye bread.
Man.
It's not the best part, but it's still good.
All right, if it works for you.
Okay. I do like that there's a lot of callbacks, to various seasons, being the pen, the Cadillac. That's kind of neat how this particular episode spans over 5 years.
And we're getting that vibe, we've talked about this a bunch, like in season 8, how so much more of a group effort. Like this was written by Peter Melman, but, instead of the filter through Larry, it was the filter through all of the writers. And, with the exception of Peter, most of the writers were, the younger generation, the people who used to watch the show. So I feel like they got a big kick out of referencing previous episodes.
Of course. And, mentioning Peter Melman, this one probably feels the least like a Peter Melman episode, since there's no, phrase being coined. There's no like discussion of, is there a discussion? Oh, there is discussion of sex in mixed company with Elaine discussing with Kramer.
Seinfeld.
But I always see the Melman episodes as smaller in scope, or just touching on one thing and fixating on it, but it's very minor but so interesting. And this seems just like a Seinfeld episode of the week.
The two things that felt like the most like Peter Melman were the like Kramer's inability to sleep, because of his partner. That felt like a Peter Melman idea. Also, maybe the idea of like someone buying something for you, and like you kind of feel like they're sticking it. I don't know. Those two elements felt like small scale, old school Seinfeld.
I could see that.
Yeah. But yeah, as a whole, not a bad episode, but just not one of the more memorable ones from season 8. Vinny, how do you feel about the top 20? I assume this is cracking it.
No, I'll save it for. I think I'll save the top 20 for another time.
Okay.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram. Or you can send us. You can't send us.
You can email us an MP3, or you can leave us a voicemail.
Send us an email at MP3, or leave us a voicemail at Coco Bosco.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
We are discussing the 13th episode of Season 8, The Comeback.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vincent.
Of Vincent's Picks?
The same.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Well, that was all right.